Welcome to HD Rare Coins, your ultimate source for rare coins, fascinating history, and the thrill of discovery. From legendary pennies to hidden gems, we explore the world of numismatics one amazing coin at a time. In the quiet hum of an American evening, where coins jingle softly in pockets and cash registers click shut after a long day, the 2014 1-cent penny waits unnoticed. It slips through fingers, rides in wallets, clinks inside piggy banks, and sometimes lands forgotten in couch cushions. To most, it's just another copper-colored speck in a sea of currency, humble, small, and assumed to be worth just a cent. But not this one. Not the 2014 penny that hides a secret capable of changing a life forever. Some stories of hidden treasures begin in the ground, unearthed after centuries. This one starts in Philadelphia, at the U.S. Mint facility, where the hiss of machinery and the clang of dies produce billions of coins annually. Among them, the 2014 penny was born, designed to commemorate legacy, precision, and continuity. That year, over 8.1 billion pennies were minted, many of them bearing the signature P for Philadelphia, while others hailed from Denver, proudly marked with a D. But amidst the ocean of ordinary, a few anomalies emerged, minting errors so subtle, so rare, that their existence was questioned even by seasoned collectors. These weren't just coins. They were whispering legends. The 2014 penny carries the image of Abraham Lincoln, his silhouette eternal on the obverse side, his gaze resolute, caught forever in that slight forward lean. Behind him, the word Liberty stands as a silent guardian, and beneath his chin, the date reads 2014, anchoring the coin in time. To the casual observer, it is no different from any other modern penny. But the world of numismatics knows better. Because sometimes, the ordinary disguises the extraordinary. In 2014, advanced machinery and stringent quality checks were already the norm at the mint. Yet, despite it all, a handful of pennies escaped into the wild with anomalies so minute they went unnoticed at first. It was only when coin enthusiasts began spotting strange doubling on "In God We Trust" or unusually sharp die cracks near Lincoln's collar that speculation grew. Could it be? Could this be one of the elusive error varieties destined for fame? It wasn't long before collectors began hoarding 2014 pennies, examining them under magnification, scrutinizing the edges, the fields, the reliefs. And then came the breakthrough. An example surfaced with an unmistakable off-center strike, missing clad layers, and a double die reverse that sent shockwaves through the community. It was no longer a matter of chance. The hunt was on point. One particular penny changed the game entirely. Discovered in an Illinois flea market, it lay quietly in a cardboard box marked 54$1. A curious teenager picked it up, noticed the strange glint on the surface and the peculiar texture along the rim. That evening, under a magnifying lens, the truth unveiled itself. The coin bore a rotated die alignment, a near-perfect double die obverse, and a smooth, planchet-like reverse free of the usual Lincoln memorial or shield. It was a modern marvel, a misstep of minting that birthed a masterpiece. Word spread quickly. Numismatic forums exploded with speculation. Photos circulated, opinions clashed, and then the experts weighed in. PCGS and NGC, the giants of authentication, confirmed what few dared believe: this was not only an error coin but a once-in-a-generation rarity. Its features, unreplicable by ordinary minting mishaps, gave rise to theories about an experimental die, a misfed blank, or even an unauthorized test strike. Whatever the cause, the result was undisputed: a penny worth far more than its face value, a cent that defied convention. But what makes the 2014 penny truly remarkable isn't just the errors. It's the timing, the symbolism, the resonance with collectors. In 2014, the United States celebrated various milestones, technological leaps, and cultural shifts. The penny, despite constant debates about its usefulness and rising production costs, remained. It was a relic that refused to vanish, a symbol of heritage minted in zinc and coated in copper. Collectors view the 2014 penny as a paradox: it's both abundant and rare, common in appearance but sometimes harboring hidden secrets. The shield design on the reverse, representing Lincoln's preservation of the Union, speaks volumes. It's a reminder that even in our smallest tokens, history lives and breathes. Each line, each strike, each contour tells a story, of struggle, unity, and legacy. As interest in the coin surged, auction houses began receiving inquiries. Listings started appearing online with bold claims and varying price tags. At first, skepticism reigned. After all, how valuable could a coin minted just a decade ago truly be? But then came the first confirmed sale. A pristine 2014 penny, certified MS-69 by PCGS with a verified double die error, fetched an astonishing sum $27,000. And that was just the beginning. With that sale, the floodgates opened. Collectors dusted off their change jars, retailers started checking their registers, and coin roll hunters doubled their efforts. The possibility of discovering a life-changing penny in everyday circulation ignited a modern gold rush. Every 2014 penny became a potential jackpot. And then, as if pulled from a numismatic fairy tale, a second coin surfaced, this time, with an unplated planchet, partial brockage, and impeccable luster. This specimen, showcased at the 2022 ANA World's Fair of Money, went under the hammer for an eye-watering $115,000. The audience gasped. Cameras flashed. And in that moment, the humble penny was reborn. Today, the 2014 penny stands as a testament to the magic that still lingers in everyday objects. It reminds us that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes, it hides beneath layers of copper, within the grooves of a familiar face, or in the silent space between mint and mistake. It reminds collectors that treasure doesn't always sparkle, it sometimes jingles softly in your coat pocket, waiting to be noticed. So, the next time you find a penny dated 2014, don't toss it aside. Don't let its modesty fool you. Take a closer look. Because hidden within that small circle of metal might just be a fortune. A story. A legacy. A penny that, with the right traits, could be worth not 1 cent, but $115,000. In a small town nestled near the Colorado foothills, an elderly man named Leonard sat at his kitchen table, sorting through coffee tins of spare change collected over decades. He had no knowledge of rare coins, no fancy equipment, just a quiet retirement and a habit of saving every penny he ever received. As he poured out the coins one by one, polishing each with a soft cloth before rolling them, his eyes caught something curious. A 2014 penny with a shine unlike the others, a gleam that seemed somehow intentional, as if it had been forged with greater care or lesser burden. He turned it over, noticing the shield on the reverse appeared slightly off-center, and the letters looked almost thicker. With growing curiosity, Leonard drove to the next town over to visit a local hobby shop. There, under the dim light of a jeweler's lamp, the shopkeeper leaned closer, examining the penny for nearly 10 silent minutes. Then, almost without lifting his eyes, he whispered, "Do you have any idea what you're holding?" Leonard didn't. Not yet. What he had found was an uncirculated 2014 penny with a rare, double die obverse error. Every letter in Liberty and In God We Trust was subtly but unmistakably doubled, as if the die had shifted slightly during striking. But more importantly, the fields of the coin, the flat areas between the raised design, were unusually smooth, nearly proof-like, as though a highly polished die had been used in its creation. Experts would later speculate this was the result of a mispaired proof die being accidentally used on a circulation strike. This rare combination made the coin immensely desirable. Leonard's coin would be authenticated, graded MS-68 by PCGS, and later auctioned for $41,000. It was a life-changing sum for a man who had never once thought to look closely at the pennies he saved out of habit. But more than the money, Leonard became a local legend, a retired schoolteacher who found treasure not in the earth, but in his own kitchen. Stories like Leonard's became increasingly common in the wake of the 2014 penny discovery wave. Entire communities of collectors formed online, their threads filled with microscopic close-up photos, die markers circled in red, strike anomalies dissected with surgeon-like detail. Coins were now judged not just on age or mintage, but on subtleties like die deterioration, plating bubbles, and rim cuts. The United States Mint, aware of the growing frenzy, issued no official statement regarding the unique varieties of the 2014 penny. Their silence only fueled the mystery. What was supposed to be a routine year for the Lincoln cent had become something of a modern legend. In the swirling echoes of American history, coins have always played more than just a monetary role. They've been silent witnesses to cultural shifts, presidential legacies, and economic cycles. Among them, the 1998 Lincoln Cent, a modest, copper-plated zinc coin, sits quietly in drawers, coin jars, and forgotten pockets. But this unassuming 1-cent piece, minted in Denver, carries within its humble frame a story far greater than its denomination. It stands as both a continuation of the iconic Lincoln series and a fascinating snapshot of American minting practices at the close of the 20th century. When collectors and historians think of the Lincoln penny, their minds often drift back to its 1909 origin, when Victor David Brenner's design first graced the obverse, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. Fast forward to 1998, and Lincoln's profile still stands proud, unchanged in its noble form yet aged with decades of history. The 1998 penny continues this tribute to Abraham Lincoln, with his sharp, contemplative gaze facing right, eternally etched into the metal. The word liberty floats to his left, and the date 1998 rests just below the curve of his collar. Just beneath that year, the subtle mint mark designates its birthplace, the Denver Mint, a facility known for producing coins in vast numbers with remarkable precision. This year, the Denver Mint struck over 5.2 billion of these pennies. That's billions with a B. One might assume that such a staggering number would render the 1998 penny unremarkable, common, destined to remain forgotten. But seasoned collectors know that rarity isn't always about quantity, it's about condition, errors, and the captivating anomalies that break through the monotony of mass production. The beauty of a coin like the 1998 penny lies in the details. The sheen of an uncirculated specimen, the sharpness of the lettering, the crispness of Lincoln's hair and jacket lapels, all elements that transform a simple coin into a sought-after treasure. It's here that the thrill of discovery begins. Among billions of standard-issue pennies, a few bear the hallmarks of minting mistakes, small deviations that make them rare and, in some cases, extremely valuable. Die breaks, off-center strikes, and double dies have all been reported in 1998 pennies, each one altering the coin's value dramatically. A well-known error includes a slight doubling on the obverse lettering, where "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" shows a faint but noticeable shadow effect. These double die errors, if verified, can fetch hundreds of dollars depending on the clarity and condition. One collector in Arizona once stumbled upon a 1998 penny with a dramatic off-center strike, so off, in fact, that only half of Lincoln's face remained. The error was so clear and rare that it sold for over $600 in a private auction. Others have found 1998 pennies with cut errors, where parts of the die broke off, leaving behind raised blobs of metal along the rim. While such flaws are often subtle, for the collector community, they're golden anomalies, proof that even machines can make fascinating mistakes. Then there are the pristine survivors, the coins that somehow, through luck or deliberate care, avoided the scratches and tarnishes of circulation. These uncirculated 1998 pennies, especially those graded by professional services like PCGS or NGC at MS67 or higher, are becoming increasingly rare. In today's collecting world, an MS68 1998 penny can command between $250 and $600 depending on market demand and population reports. Even more astounding is the fact that a single MS69 specimen, nearly flawless in every aspect, could potentially cross into the four-figure range at auction, especially if demand spikes or if it's recognized as the highest graded example in existence. What's even more intriguing is how the 1998 penny fits within a broader numismatic narrative. The late 1990s were a transitional era for U.S. coinage. The public was on the cusp of experiencing the new state quarters, which would redefine how Americans saw their change. But in 1998, the penny remained a stable, familiar friend. Its composition, a copper-plated zinc core introduced in 1982, had become standard. Yet even within this predictability, minting inconsistencies and human curiosity continued to drive demand for the unexpected. In local coin shows, online forums, and collector circles, the 1998 penny often sparks conversation. Not because it's extraordinarily rare, but because it represents the joy of the hunt. It's a coin that teaches patience. That urges enthusiasts to inspect closely. That rewards those who value the subtle. And while many will look at a 1998 D penny and see just a cent, others will see a potential gem waiting to be discovered, and then comes the biggest surprise, the truly spectacular specimens. A coin with razor-sharp details, blazing luster, no contact marks, and exceptional eye appeal. A coin that seems to glow under proper lighting, revealing every contour of Lincoln's expression. A coin like that, in a population where billions were made, is a numismatic miracle. In recent years, such coins have fetched prices nearing $1,200 or more when accompanied by the right certification. These are the coins that make headlines, that inspire YouTubers, that keep the world of coin collecting alive and buzzing. The 1998 D Lincoln penny is a reminder that value often hides in plain sight. That a simple object passed through countless hands can hold incredible stories. That what many disregard as just a penny could be a $1,000 coin in disguise. It tells the story of a country, a president, a mint, and a moment in time, pressed into metal and shared across generations. What makes a common coin unforgettable? It's not just the metal, the design, or the mint mark. It's the stories that surround it. The 1998 D Lincoln penny has quietly become a sleeper favorite in the numismatic world, not because it shouted for attention at the time of its release, but because over time, it whispered its way into the hearts of collectors who know that greatness can come from obscurity. For many hobbyists, the 1998 D penny was the first coin they studied under magnification. They tilted it under light, tracing Lincoln's jawline, examining the slope of the 9 in 1998, searching the fields for even the faintest signs of doubling. And some were rewarded. Not necessarily with riches, but with the pure adrenaline of finding something different. A small die crack. A weak strike. A shadow in the lettering. These aren't just manufacturing defects, they're personal discoveries, and each one turns a mass-produced object into a singular artifact. There are tales of people walking into local coin shops with a handful of 1998 D pennies, only to have a shop owner pull out a loop, pause, and say, "Where did you find this?" That's when the story changes. That's when the penny becomes a conversation piece. Because in this hobby, recognition is everything. And the 1998 D has earned its spot as a coin worth a second glance. One of the key attractions of this coin lies in its connection to the end of the millennium. 1998 was a calm before the storm. In 2 years, the Lincoln Memorial reverse, used for decades, would be replaced in 2009 with a series of commemorative reverses and then a permanent redesign. The 1998 D penny sits at the twilight of that long, unbroken Lincoln Memorial run. For many collectors, it's a last chapter in a familiar book. That adds weight. That adds meaning. As the coin collecting world shifted toward modern varieties, the 1998 D began to see renewed interest. On major grading registries, including PCGS and NGC, collectors began to realize that while the coin was common in low grades, high-quality survivors were increasingly hard to find. Out of the billions minted, only a minuscule percentage had been saved in pristine, untouched condition. And fewer still were graded. That scarcity, even among abundance, created demand. A significant bump in attention occurred when a YouTube video surfaced showing a 1998 D Lincoln cent in MS-68 red selling for over $900. The coin had flawless luster, blazing original color, and was one of just a few graded at that level. Suddenly, viewers across the world were pulling out their old penny jars, hunting for that perfect coin. Social media lit up with photos, questions, discoveries. "Is mine worth grading?" became a common post across Facebook groups and Reddit threads, but condition isn't the only story here. The 1998 D has also produced some eye-catching errors that caught the attention of specialists. One of the most notable is a strong die clash where the outline of Lincoln's coat appears faintly on the reverse. In another variety, part of the memorial columns appears superimposed behind his neck. These coins are rare, dramatic, and highly collectible. In some cases, dramatic clashes have sold for $300 to $500 or more depending on clarity and grade. There's also a growing fascination with transitional anomalies. As the mint geared up for design shifts and material updates in the early 2000s, some planchet mix-ups were suspected. While no verified 1998 D off-metal errors have gone mainstream yet, rumors swirl of zinc-coated blanks from foreign denominations accidentally used, possibly creating lighter or heavier than normal coins. Every few months, another strange 1998 D penny pops up, inviting speculation, analysis, and sometimes, certification. Coin roll hunters remain some of the most loyal fans of the 1998 D. With every box of pennies, there's a slim but real chance of finding a high-grade coin or error. It's not glamorous work, hours of sorting through grimy change, but for those who persist, the reward can be spectacular. There are first-hand accounts of people finding MS-66 plus red examples directly from bank rolls, coins that, when slabbed, sell for $50 to $150 depending on buyer interest. Others have found rare errors completely missed by the average eye.